y'all pulled up on me, I would have seen y'all niggas because I was outside.
So there's 100% chance you have not seen something like this. It's gonna be a very hot take heavy power rankings this week. With that said, though, let's get this thing going. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the Week 4 NFL Power Rankings here in the 2025 season. We have a big week of football coming up. Not really, but it is. There's some pretty cool games. But we had a lot of stuff happen in Week 3 that is not indicative of how good these teams are. But still, we will be moving teams around in pretty unexpected fashion. If you think I'm crazy for these rankings, you probably should be right, because I think there's going to be some delusion in here and some bias. But I don't really care. It's my power rankings. If you want to make your own power rankings and you have any issues, do that. And I guess, yeah, that's what I'll say there. Anyway, though, we will start at number 32. We'll go all the way up to number 1. Worst team in the league, at least. Again, not really worst league, but team in the league. Yeah, worst team in the league is going to be 32. Best team in football at the moment for me is going to be number 1 as I see it. With that said, though, the worst team in football right now is the Saints, who played like the way they should have, at least for the first 2 weeks, as they got their absolute arse kicked against the Seahawks. Really not in the way you would have thought. They still got dominated in all 3 facets of the game, but at least offensively they weren't rolling over and dying every play. Their special teams play was absolutely atrocious. It still wasn't the worst in the week, but it was definitely close to that. Again, their punter got trucked. Again, that was probably the best way to describe that game. Other than that, though, there's not really a whole lot going on for the Saints right now. They got the Bills next week. It's going to be a rough game for them in Buffalo. Don't expect them to be coming out of that one with a win. Again, quarterback's always has been a little bit of an issue, but again, even then, like, Spencer Rattler hasn't been that bad, I guess, for them. With that said, number 31, we have the Titans, who didn't really play well at all against the Colts. They got blown out. They couldn't tackle. The offense really didn't do much outside of scoring against garbage time points. I don't really care, guys. The Titans are just kind of an irrelevant team right now. They're going to try to do something with Cam Ward, but we all know that that's not really going to happen. Number 30, give me the Giants. The reason they're here is because of how bad they played on offense last week. Again, they just bench, if you didn't know, Russ. So I guess we'll see if Jackson Dart can spark something. I hope he does. But realistically, guys, this is a pretty talented Giants team overall. But the fact, again, the way they played the first 3 weeks, that they're 0-3, it's just absolutely pathetic. Again, there's no reason they should be 0-3, but they still are. I wouldn't say they should be 3-0, but very real possibility that this 0-3 start could have been avoided with definitely some changes. But still, again, they've had a pretty wild first 3 weeks. Again, the reason they're here is just because of how they played. But realistically, they definitely should be higher than here. But I really couldn't reasonably put them any lower than this or higher than this just because of who's in front of them. Because the Jets just put up a better effort than they did this week. Again, I think that they're definitely a better team than the Jets. But how does that really matter when the fact that, again, at least the Jets were able to score some points and they battled back down 23-6 when the Giants offense really didn't do anything the entire game. So, Jets fans, again, you should be pretty happy with that result. Again, you're still 0-3, but again, you just went toe-to-toe with again, I understand, brutally injured Bucs team, but still a team that was undefeated and has won the NFC South for 4 straight years. Very solid performance by the Jets this week. Again, they still lost, but if you're back at quarterback, I guess I don't even know that at this point. It wasn't that bad of a game from them. 28 gave me the Dolphins. They just can't really buy a win. They had their best effort of the season by a big margin last week. Again, they still really weren't that explosive, but it was definitely just better than what we've seen in the past. Tyreek Hill, I think, had a very good game, despite maybe not putting up the craziest numbers. Defense held up somewhat decently, but again, we saw that the Bills were just a better team at the end of the game, even though they did put up a good effort. So, again, I got to give these teams at the bottom some decent credit here. Again, hopefully they can beat the Jets next week, but we'll see what happens. Again, that's also on Monday Night Football. Tank Bowl question mark, we'll see. 27 gave me the Browns. Yeah, they're not great, but at the same time, again, despite their offense being pretty bad, I think Quinshon Judkins does give them something in the backfield. Hopefully these receivers can start to play better. Again, Joe Flacco, I don't think is a great quarterback. We'll see how that, again, develops throughout the season. The defense, though, has looked absolutely bonkers when their offense isn't absolutely terrible. So, again, we'll see how that, again, plays out as well. But, yeah, that was an absolutely great performance by that defense against the Packers. Again, see if they continue to play like that. But we'll just have to wait and see for that. Because, again, we're only in week 3. 26, give me the Falcons. They dropped 13 spots. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you guys. And the fact you got shut out by the Panthers is just absolutely absurd. The fact that you got shut out and you still have like 5 chances to score touchdowns is even crazier to me. Yeah, that was just an absolutely brutal performance by them. Their defense didn't even play that awful, but really, again, you get shot out 30-0. There's really nothing good you can say. That was probably the worst performance I've seen from a team in a while. Just not good. 25. We got the Bengals. Very similar to the Falcons. They played absolutely awful. I don't want to overreact to 1 week, but there are going to be games where this offense looks like this, and Jake Browning just cannot, they can't even, get a snap-off sort of thing. There will be games like that. That is the highs and lows of the Jake Browning offense. But, again, I think they'll definitely be better next week, considering they're playing I'm actually, losing it. Who are they playing? Who are they playing? It's just not. It's not coming. They're playing the. Who are the Bengals playing? Oh, they got the Broncos. Never mind. It'll be rough. But anyway, the Bengals will. They'll have some good games. Don't worry. But yeah, that was so bad. You literally were down 40-3 going to the fourth quarter. Like, what else am I supposed to tell you? That was absolutely horrendous. 24. I don't think they're better than the Bengals, but at the moment they are. That's the Patriots. Their defense didn't look bad at all. Just the fact they fumbled the ball 5 times and just couldn't. Again, it was like they had butter on their hands. I don't know what to tell you guys. No diddy, but still. 24 for the Patriots. 23, I got the Raiders. They sucked. I mean, like, what else am I supposed to say? Their defense has been MIA. Really the past, 5 quarters now. Their offense, I guess, was okay. Really not. It was a lot of garbage time and empty calorie sort of scoring. But yeah, they didn't show up against Commanders. Like, where else are they supposed to put them? Geno, outside of a couple of throws of Trey Tucker, really hasn't been good at all the past 2 weeks. And they just haven't really looked like the team they looked like in week 1. Even then, in week 1, they didn't even look that good. So, yeah, I don't know really what to tell you guys with the Raiders. They just did not show up on defense last week. It was pathetic. And again, I want to put them lower, but realistically, they're a better team than this. So I can't really put them that too low. 22, I got the Panthers. Again, offensively, they're really not that good at all. I'll be honest with you guys. They're playing the Rams in Week 13. I fully expect us to shut them out at home, again, in their place if the Rams can actually get their heads out of their arses. But other than that, their defense played absolutely crazy well. I've not seen that defense play that well really since J.C. Horn's rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you're a Panthers fan, again, you should be absolutely ecstatic with that win. But again, still, Bryce Young has done absolutely nothing so far this year outside of a crazy second half against the Cardinals. Even then, he really didn't even do that much. So. Yeah, still need to see what the Panthers can do again. They're playing New England next week. That's definitely a game they could win. But yeah, that defense was it was very random, just absolutely crazy performance. 21. I got the Texans. Again, I can't put them any higher than this, guys. This offense has been absolutely awful the first 3 weeks. They just can't move the football. C.J. Stroud's been trash. I guess they can sort of run the football, but they're just not committing to it. The offensive line has been horrendous as well. Their defense, again, even as good as they aren't even really doing enough for them to actually win games. Again, there's really no excuse to the fact they lost to the Jags last week. They should have won that one. I understand the other 2 games were pretty tough, but still, they got to win this week. If they lose to the Titans, they're going to drop a lot in this. Again, they're 0-3. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't think they're actually an 0-3 team, but their offense has been that bad. Where honestly, again, you just got it. It's panic mode for the Texans right now. 20 is the Bears. They played well, but honestly, I don't really care. I don't think they're that good of a team. Cool, you blew out a trash Cowboys defense. I think their defense overperformed immensely in this game, though. Just underlying statistics and on film, there were a lot of mistakes by that Cowboys offense that I think are definitely uncharacteristic of them. Game tempo and game momentum changed a ton when CeeDee Lamb got injured, but I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. That was a solid win from the Bears. Good job, I guess, but we can see that consistently. That's the question. They got the Raiders next week. That'll be an interesting matchup for both those teams. 19, I have the Cardinals. They just aren't a very fun team to watch, to be honest with you guys. James Conner getting injured really puts a wrench in the running game. Kyler hasn't really done much at all so far this season. Guys, they're just not a team that are very fun to watch. Yes, their defense I think is at times can be pretty solid, but how much does that really matter when you have an offense that really has no sort of juice to it? Especially with a couple guys that should be a lot more explosive than they are. So disappointing start of the year to Cardinals despite them being 2-1, but again, huge game against the Seahawks, who again I guess look a little bit better. We'll see how that develops though. 18. You got the Cowboys. Yeah, they should probably be lower than this, but their offense, again, the CD injury is a little bit concerning. Is there any sort of update on the timetable for that? I think they were saying a month maybe. Yeah, that's not good. So again, even if he goes on IR, again, the Cowboys aren't obviously done or anything like that, but their defense has been absolutely horrendous the past week. It literally has been burnt toast. But how much is that really you can't really take that completely into account until this offense really gets going, just because of the fact that I still think they'll be able to win games, again, when this offense is at full strength. That's how much, again, I have in them. They had a terrible week last week. There's no way around that. Again, they should have put up 30 points against the Bears. What happened? They didn't. But, again, I'm not really complaining because the Cowboys are not a team that anyone wants to see succeed. So, realistically, they should probably be lower than this, but until their defense, again, just because their defense is that bad, but I can't take one bad game from that offense and be like, yeah, this team is they're incapable of winning games. We'll see, though. They're playing the Packers. Both those teams are in for definitely a bounce-back game. 17, I have not the Vikings. I have the Jaguars. The Jaguars have been really inconsistent so far this season. They had a really nice win in Week 1 against the Panthers. Then they kind of just choked against the Bengals. And then last week, they just played a good defensive effort. Their offense still, I don't think, is really coming around so far this year. Until that actually happens, I really can't take them too seriously. But Monday Night Football against the Chiefs in a couple weeks. This week they have who are they even playing this week? Niners. They're going to San Fran for that game, so that'll be a fun test for them as well. But yeah, this Jags team has not really been consistent enough for me yet. I don't think Liam Cohen's a great coach, so that's really where I'm at with them. 16, give me the Vikings. Yeah, their defense played way out of their minds this week, but still, they absolutely destroyed the not the Bengals. There we go. I guess enjoyed it while it lasts, but for the Vikings, realistically, they're probably not going to be too great of a team this year. But again, they definitely have the talent, so we'll see how that can continue to develop. They got the Jordan Addison back as well, so that's good. 15. I have the Steelers. I want to put them lower, but like, how can I do that? Their defense played out of their minds this past week. Really good per game. What we've been trying to see out of them all year as well. But offensively, it's a concern. They haven't really moved the ball whatsoever the past 2 games. So until that changes, I don't really know how much higher I can put them. And yeah, this is going to be a fun game between the Vikings and Steelers this week. That's what I'll say. The battle of mid. I guess that's the best way you could put it. I'm not going to label it that or anything like that. But that game's in Dublin, so really weird things going around right now. NFL Network International Series is back too. We'll get more into that again when we get to Sunday predictions. But number 14, I have the Broncos. So Broncos fans, you probably are pretty ticked off here, but realistically, you've been really competitive so far this year. The Titans game was a disaster. You still won it, though. And then again, you choked back-to-back games against games you should have won. So it's not the fact that the Broncos have been they have not been playing bad. Last week, honestly, didn't think they played that bad of a game. But again, especially after the first 2 weeks. But this is a team that should be 3-0, and they're just not because of the fact that they haven't played a consistent 4 quarters yet this season. And once they do that, hopefully against the Bengals, they'll actually look like a legit solid team because that's what they actually are. So I just got to see Bo Nix play more snaps, honestly, this season for me to really get a full picture there. But other than that, guys, the Broncos, again, I wouldn't be worrying too much. But yeah, it's not been the start you would have wanted this season. Number 13, give me the Seahawks. Cool, you blew out the Saints. I mean, I guess that's good. It really wasn't that crazy of a win, I guess. It still was a 30-6 halftime score, but took care of business. You got some business this week as well. So, are you going to figure it out? We'll see. Against Cardinals in a short week there. Number 12, I have the Colts. Yeah, the Colts they're 3-0. No one would have expected that. Their offense has probably been the best in football outside of maybe the Lions so far this season. No, it has been the best. The problem with this Colts team is, though, I don't think they're that great. But until Indiana Jones flops and this defense kind of just sinks, I don't really know how you can put them any lower than this. They've been really good. They've won all their games behind a really solid offensive performance. Unless the Rams stop them, I don't really see how they can't win that game either. Again, at least be in it. That's why they're at 12. 11, I got the Niners. They're good, but they're also super injured. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but it's just kind of how it works. Losing Nick Bosa for the year is going to be a monumental loss, but I still think they'll be able to work around it. Until Brock Purdy comes back, I don't really think they're that legit of a team. That's why I don't see them being 4-0, but we'll see. Again, like I said, since 2019-2023, they started out at least 5-0. They started out 3-0 this year. See how that continues. They made the Super Bowl both those years, so who might have told them they can't make it again? Number 10, I got the Commanders. Good win, but I guess. I don't know. Their defense really wasn't wowing me despite a pretty decent effort. Their offense, though, Jeremy McNichols, I think that was a brutal run to watch. But I guess he's fast. Anyway, though, they had great win for the Commanders. But, again, I can't really put them much higher until they actually beat a good team. Number 9, give me the Chiefs. Brutal win, but they still won. So, they're not 0-3, and they're probably going to be 1-3. So, I don't know. They're playing the Ravens. Show up, play good offensively, and we can talk. No, Travis Kelce's also watched. 8. I got the Packers. That was an absolute pathetic performance. At the same time, their defense still played really well, and they've been really good the first 3 weeks, so I'm not going to go too crazy on that. But their offense absolutely sucked win this week. They couldn't move the football. They couldn't really do much of anything. They missed a lot of opportunities. I don't see this game like this for the Packers probably the rest of the season. But, again, we'll see how they play against the Cowboys. That'll definitely indicate where they'll be going. Number 7, Bucks. They are 3-0. That is not something that has happened since before I was alive. So I mean I guess that's good for them. But again, if you're a Bucks fan, you should definitely be ecstatic right now, except the fact that you're brutally injured. You got the Eagles this week though, which will be a fun game to watch. Honestly, they should be able to win that considering they have the Eagles number. But realistically, maybe not. I don't know because considering the Eagles can't lose. But if you're a Bucks fan, you should be happy with what you got right now because again, despite all the injuries, you're still playing decent ball. Number 6. Yeah, we got the Ravens. Again, I understand they haven't really played well, really at all so far this season in a lot of ways, but they're still very, very good, and they still were decent on offense last week. Again, huge concerns with this defense, but they're also healthy. So, that's what I got there. The Bucks aren't going to be healthy in the entire rest of the season. There's guys that are just not going to be healthy. And the fact, again, the Ravens are just a better team in general to start out with, I got to keep them here despite their defensive struggles. 5, give me the Chargers. They look great, but I really don't care. I don't think they're that great overall, but hey, they've gotten some big wins this year. They're 3-0. They got a huge opportunity to be 4-0 as well. See if they don't blow that opportunity. But again, if you're a Chargers fan, you should be super happy as well. But again, they haven't been lights out so far this year, but pretty close to it. Number 4, I have the Eagles. You might be like, how the hell are the Eagles here? They literally can't lose. I'll tell you why. Because they're not the best team in the NFL. They're just not. They're not even the top 3 team in the NFC that I think right now. they should not have won that game against the Rams. It's that simple. They got outplayed almost the entire game. I was just irate at how that game finished there, but at the same time, they still won. So again, I got to give them credit where it is there. They battled back and won that game, but they're just not a better team than the next two teams I'm going to talk about. It's that simple. They're just not. So I don't think that they're going to win. Again, they'll probably win maybe a couple more games like that this season, but there are going to be games where the door's going to get shut and they're not going to be able to open it. It's going to be that simple. I was pissed at how that game ended, but Eagles, solid effort, but honestly, I just don't think you're just not that team. They got to lose that before that. No, I'm getting ahead of it, guys. I don't think this Eagles team is all that. Number 3, give me the Lions. They had the best performance this week by a mile. Huge one against the freaking team they played. Yeah, but still the Ravens. But I honestly they still played really bad in week 1, so I'm not totally convinced about them. But that was a huge win from them. 2, give me the Rams. You're like, how the hell are the Rams at 2? They blew the game. They blew the game. All this. The Rams are a better team than the Eagles. That's what I took away from that game. Better team. They just are. I'm like, oh, how are they better when they blew a 26-7 lead? Valid question. You want to know why? Because they outplayed them in that game. They just simply did. But again, this is my opinion here. I don't see the Rams losing a game like that to the Eagles. I'm like, oh, they haven't beat the Eagles. Like, how do you know they're going to win that one? Trust me, this next time they're going to win. Stafford's not going to let that happen again. But yes, we'll see how they play against the Colts. That's a big game. But still, the Rams, that is what I wanted to see out of them. Again, brutal way to lose. They blew that game. They should have won that game, obviously. But I got what I needed out of that game, to be honest with you guys. A lot of other Rams fans and a lot of just people in football are like, what was that? Again, they stopped Saquon. They did everything they were supposed to. They still lost. That's what everyone's saying. There is no way they lose the Eagles again this season. It's not going to happen. If it's in the playoffs, they are going to win the link. They showed up there and beat their arses and just let them. They just didn't. Again, they let him back in. It's that simple. That's not going to happen again. I guarantee you that. I'm telling you right now. Book it. Not happening again. Number 1 though. Yeah, you got the Bills. Again, they didn't have the greatest game. They still won though. So outside of that Rams rant, yeah, Bills are still the best team in football. Rams, again, you could definitely put them lower realistically. But, hey, I got to put my rant on there. Hopefully all these teams don't move on too much this week. Yeah, well, at least for some people, hopefully they do. That's all I got there, though. And, yeah, see you for Thursday Night Football predictions tomorrow.
Cook bouncing it. End zone. What a start. Touchdown, Vikings. And any of the good feelings that were picked up in that thrilling win at home over the Ravens for the Steelers is gone now.
Well, they bring in the extra lineman, Blake Brandel, and you can see here comes